beekeepers don't have hair on their fingers. We'll go gloveless until it hurts. Last week we got into this hive, and as you can see by looking at the top here, on July the 8th, we actually did an inspection. We found a problem, and we found that they had swarmed and maybe superseded their queen. Let's just say queen issue, no queen on board. Very little brood. The final bit of brood was emerging. And I promised you guys we'd come back and look a week later. So this is a good video to kind of walk through what do you do when you have queen issues. Update, I found out my son was mowing, and about a couple of weeks ago he said, "Hey Dad, by the way, I saw a swarm in one of your trees down there a couple of weeks ago." I was like, "What?" "What didn't you tell me? Red alert, come get me." I was nice about it, but I was like, "Text me, drop what you're doing, come get me when there's a swarm." And then I said, I was hoping he was going to tell me it was 60 feet up in a tree. I said, "Christian, how high was it off the ground?" "Oh, 3 or 4 feet." I'm like, oh, that's just gold. You know, it's a vein of gold in beekeeping. But anyway, so what we're going to do today is we have to actually go in there and make sure that we see a queen. By now, a virgin queen should have been mated and laying some eggs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in, look for the queen, look for eggs. If we don't see that, we're going to go get a queen out of one of my mating boxes that's performing well. And we're going to drop a new queen in here in a queen cage. Get this hive going again before winter. So let's get to work. Alrighty, opening up the hive. This is a horizontal hive. I got it, I think last year or the year before. I can't remember. But there they are, a little window you can see down in here. In case you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. The reason I'm not going to take all of that off is because they will put it back on there in a couple hours. So it's not worth taking it off. Propolis makes everything sticky. There's a bee that needs to get off my finger. Here's the name of the company. This is not a paid promotion, but these are the fine folks that made this hive for me that I paid for. Well, where should we start? Here's a follower board at the end of the road here. So they're not quite on any frames back here because of the queen issue. So we're getting a little tight on space. May have to add some more this year. But I think what I'm going to do a little different. Last time I started at this end and worked this way. I think I might start right here and get into that brood area faster. So let's give them a little smoke since I'm going gloveless, gloveless. Suitless, because I don't want to get hot today. We had such a hot day the other day. I made a video where I was working a hive, expanding it, and it was so hot that I literally got sick. It had to be this close to a heat stroke. I literally had to go inside, get wet, cold rags put on myself. I can't describe. I'd never been that hot before and felt that bad. I do a lot of cycling, but when you're cycling, you know, you got air from the movement, right? And so you got a little breeze, but underneath a bee suit like that was just horrible. Oh, it was bad. When you're working bees, you want to work in slow motion, like I'm doing. Don't have any real quick movements like that. You don't want to smell too good, like you don't want to put a lot of gardenia perfume on. I don't even know if they make gardenia perfume, but that sounds like they should. That's a beautiful frame of wax. It's just gorgeous. It's all pulled out beautifully, isn't it? On both sides. Not all the way there, but let's just set that out to give us a little bit of wiggle room. Hope you guys are doing good today. Beautiful capped over honey. That is all prepared to be harvested. If you were ready to harvest it, you would judge it by how capped over it is. Now, I don't see any eggs in that cell, or those cells on that frame. Patrick says he guesses there's a queen in there. I guess that there's not a queen in there. So we got a little bet going on.
My money's on you.
even though you don't agree with me. I don't know. I don't have a reason, but I just know how luck goes, and sometimes you just get unlucky and can't get a hive queen right. As we continue to look for the queen, let me encourage you to please subscribe to my channel. We are just about at 150,000 subscribers, which I didn't think we'd get to until the end of the year. But thank you guys so much for subscribing. Just click on the subscribe button below and give me a thumbs up, click on the bell. That way you're notified each time I make a new video. Now let's keep looking for this queen. And we're going to rotate it up. No eggs, a little bit of nectar at the top. Population continues to dwindle. No small hive beetle. I'd like to give a shout out to GrubX for taking care of the stuff under my hives that the small hive beetle larvae may go down there and pupate, and GrubX does a lot to help my yards not allow that. All right, Patrick, now we're getting into the place where we might see some brood if there's one in there. Let's get some smoke on board. Some people use spritz spray. They use sugar water, one-to-one sugar water in a spray bottle to keep their bees calm. Reverend Langstroth in the 1800s tried that and found that it didn't work. Those swarm cells were there on our last inspection. Boy, it's going to put some eyes on all the bees, checking out the ID of all the bees, seeing if we see any kind of a queen or a virgin queen. A little more bees, so we'll spend a little bit longer scanning everything. See, these bees here are drones, that big bee right there. And a lot of you will leave comments that you saw the queen and make me look at 4 minutes and 52 seconds. I saw a queen right there. Well, that's a drone. Calm down. That's a drone, different color. Yeah, I'm not seeing a queen here. Sometimes the queen activity is that there are bees around her and she's moving around with bees following her. I just don't see that activity on this frame. Pull the frame up real slow like this, gradually. Don't be tempted to pull it too fast, or you'll just excite your bees. Oh, this is a interesting frame here. Well, I think if we had a queen, I think she'd be here. There's a lot of excitement on this frame. I'm looking carefully. That's what you have to do before you give them a new queen. You have to make sure you don't have a queen in there. Or the two will fight, and usually the one that's in there will survive the fight. So you'll waste a queen. Nope, I don't see anything that looks like a queen to me. Not at all. So I'm going to take this out in the sun and look for maybe eggs. I'm saying a no queen here. That larvae really confused me. I saw maybe a bunch of royal jelly in the base of the cell. Some of them did have a larva floating in the bottom, but not many. Slowly move over here. Hope you're having a good time today watching this video, learning about bees. Are you watching? Leave a comment below if you are not a beekeeper. I'd like to know how many of you watched this and are not keeping bees yet, or have no interest, but maybe you just like watching me keep bees. This colony is noisy. All right, I'm going to look for the queen first. Look for a queen. Scanning everywhere for a queen. The queen, when you're looking for a queen, what you're looking for, she has a little bit more predominant thorax just behind her head. You might find a retinue around her, bees tending to her. Might have 5 or 6 bees walking around her, but I'm not seeing anything like that on this side. So let's rotate it over for the other side over here. I see a lot more royal jelly in the base of these cells. So we're going to look for the queen on this frame. See who's going to win. Pat, thinking it's queen right, and David says it's not going to be. So far, I think Pat's a little bit of ahead with that appearance of the larvae. So what we'll do is try to clear a space right here with our finger. Trying to make it big enough where they don't fill it in real fast. Wow, look at the royal jelly. Pat, you have got to win. You have won. There's just too much larvae in the center there that the bees are tending to. This hive is queen right. So let's talk about whether you need to find your queen. In this case, we don't, because there's just too much larvae that is right there in the middle. Everywhere you look, I've got eggs and larvae. It's clear as another little patch here, and let's look. Yep, you can see all the royal jelly and larvae down in those cells. At the same time, I'm looking for the queen, but I still haven't found her. By the way, when you're filming, for those of you that film bees, the cells are at an angle of about 14 degrees upward. If you were to hold it like this, they're about 14 degrees. And so to get a shot, you would have to, clear an opening like this, and then you would have to angle the cells a little bit toward, like Pat's doing now, to try to see if you can get down in there. I think you're just guessing, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to like throwing it against the wall, see if it'll stick. Probably one of the hardest things to do is to film down into cells for that reason. This hive is going to be in good shape. Just don't want it to fall apart while I'm holding it. All right, we got some pollen, we got resources in this hive. I think somebody told me this hive didn't have enough resources or protein, but they've got a lot of protein. All the pollen in there is amazing. And we're familiar with these queen cells and cups from last time. They're nothing new there. Left over from their queenless attempt to be queen right again. These are just left over. I don't know why they don't tear them down. I would tear them down if it was my house, but they're still there. I got an idea that this queen must be of a certain color that she might be hard to identify. Yeah, we're more into resource area. No obvious queen here. Ooh, there she is. Boy, I spotted her quickly, right in the center. Yep. There she is. Patrick, you're a genius.
Yeah, I don't hear that too often.
Well, when it's, you got a 50-50 chance to be a genius today, and you won.
Yeah, I'm guessing luck.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. We don't often find queens on a frame of pollen. She's got nowhere to lay, right? But there she is. So some beekeepers may give up and say, I'm outside the brood area. I'm done looking for my queen. But voila, now we don't have to worry about putting a new queen in here. So I think they're going to be okay. We'll let them continue on. I do have a green marking pin on me, but I'd love for her to be more in the middle. But she's headed that way. Kind of tempted to mark her. See if I can get this to lay down softly. And I have the queen in my hand. I'm going to try to see if I can get her back 2 legs. There they are. Was that their front leg? Well, shoot. Am I holding a back leg? Yeah, I'm holding a back leg. Oops, she almost got away from me. Well, now she is getting away from me. Yeah, let's grab her wing again. Now this is where people get nervous, like, wow, David, you're going to hurt the queen. Probably not. Let's see if I can get her wing again. Now let's try to get, she's got her back leg kind of raised up pretty high. Oop, got the front leg, don't want that. It's a battle here, isn't it? Let's try this all over again. There we go. All right, got the 2 back legs. I was not going to give up, and she was. Can a queen sting you? Absolutely. They're not as barbed of a stinger, so you can actually kind of, oop, she got loose on one of the legs, so let me get that reset again. You want to grab the back 2 legs on one side, not the front leg. She uses the front legs to actually measure the size of cells. Test the green marking pen on a piece of wood to make sure you don't have too much paint coming out. Stabilize your hand with your pinky or something. Get a green dot on there. Color it. This is she's new this year, so we'll know what year she was born. I like that. Now we let that dry. So you put her in the, take her back to your house and put her in the dryer for 30 minutes. No, don't do that. I'm kidding. She would not do well in your dryer. But you just want to hold her outside the hive for a minute. That dries pretty fast. To reset her back in on the frame, I actually pinch my fingers like that. So I start out and kind of just pinch it until I got a hold of her wings like that. The reason I like holding her by her wings is because the wings are durable, and is she ever going to fly again? Not unless she swarms, so I'd rather, you know, damage a wing, I guess, than a leg. Anyway, that's dried good enough. We're going to set her back down and let her continue on as normal. Look at that. Away she goes. Better to be seen next time. Yep, she looks good. And they're just trying to lick all of her pheromones off. They probably sensed some of my own. Well, she's already back to work. She's looking down into the cells. That's amazing. She doesn't even care that she got a green mark on her. Yeah, their job is to walk around and lay eggs. Some people think queens are the ones who give all the orders. That's not true at all. They don't, the older bees do that, but these queens simply give off a queen mandibular pheromone and walk around and lay eggs. She's backed into a cell, but she changed her mind. Interesting. You know, you just want to tell her, look, you're on a frame of pollen. Could you just move off to a frame? There are plenty of frames over there where they have prepared a place for her to lay. Now, you see this retinue that's around her? Look at that. And that is amazing how many bees are just circular around her right now. Wow, that's quite a retinue, isn't it? They're not balling her. Somebody may be tempted to leave a comment. You know, they smell your pheromone. They're going to kill her. That's not true at all. That's amazing. She's trying to get back to work, and they're just like, move out of the way, people. And away she goes. She just breaks up the little crowd there. Something like that, you might ask, why did that happen? I don't know. Was she a little cool? Did she demand to be heated up a little bit? And they all came, you know, did she give off a signal that she needed more attention or something? We don't know. So now we're just gonna scoot all of our frames back together. Everything's good in this hive. I told you guys we'd come back in here and take a look a week later. That's how you do it. And had we not seen the queen, we would have dropped a new queen in here. But I started seeing the larvae, and then we ran into the queen. So perfect. Well, Pat, what do you think you deserve for guessing correctly?
Oh, you can't afford me.
I really can't. How about we let you come to our live audience live stream for free?
Good. I'd like that.
Yeah, you'll be a great person. That's coming up is it this Saturday?
Week from Saturday.
Yeah, it's the 27th. Right, 27th,
Yep,
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
So if any of you are interested in being at the live stream with me, a live audience being part, I think I've got 20 available spots, but I think I have only maybe 5 tickets left. If you want to be a part of the live stream audience on July 27th here in the bee farm, you can drive out here, spend the day with us. We're going to have a fun time. Got some giveaways planned for the live audience as well. I'll leave a link in the description and right here. All right, it's time to close it up. Well, you may be wondering what my attitude or my thoughts are on a horizontal hive like this. This is a horizontal Langstroth. This is not a Layens hive or a top bar hive, so don't get those confused. These are Langstroth frames in a horizontal box. So instead of stacking them vertically, they all go horizontal. So it's called a horizontal Langstroth. And I like it because it's at a good position. Now, I'm a taller person. I know a lot of you see me in person and you're shocked by how tall I am. I'm actually 6'1" and maybe 6'2" or 3" with my shoes on. So this hive could be taller for me actually. I still have to bend over. So like perfect size for me. Let me see if I can get down here a little bit. Yeah, like right here. So probably another 6 inches taller for me. I could really have fun with it. So I'm still bending down quite a bit, but that's just the luck of a tall person. But I do kind of like the idea of a horizontal hive like this because it does save your back, and they're fun to work. You've got a follower board. You can set the size of how big you want it to grow and keep setting that back as the hive expands, which we'll have to do now that they're going to pick the pace up pretty fast with that new queen in there that we marked. And I think it's a lot of fun. Check it out if you're interested in a horizontal hive. They have their pros and cons. I'm going to have to really get diligent this year and actually feed them through the winter. If you want to watch a video on an important July tips, things you should be looking out for and doing in the month of July, check that video out right over here, and I'll see you guys over there.